What's going on, everyone? My name is Michael. Some of you know me as Magic Mike, and on today's episode I'm looking over my new 2002 Mercedes-Benz SLK 32 AMG. Now, I was completely caught off guard. I was not ready to purchase this car. I was pretty thrown off guard when Hoovy gifted it to me. It's a very, very generous gift. It's a very nice driving little car. If you've seen any of his videos recently, you know that we've been putting quite a bit of work into it. It came into the shop with the blown rear differential, so we swapped that out with a used one, reused the old axles, reinstalled everything, and it's currently running like a champ. So this car has 122,000 miles on it currently. I have been driving it. You can look and you can see on the gauge there, I reset the trip odometer when I started driving it. I've put almost 300 miles on it, shaking it down, trying to figure out what it does or doesn't need. So it starts right up, no dash lights on. Interior's in decent condition. All of my gauges are in here. I need to go and clean all the loose change out. It does have an aftermarket radio. AC and heater work, seat heaters work. The front headlight washers do not work. They were stuck in place. They just need to be replaced. That's pretty low on my priority list. But overall, the interior is in decent condition. There is a big old crack in the windshield there. I am getting that replaced this coming week. All the lights work. Overall, it's a very, very, very nice gift. Overall, only about 4,000 of these cars were ever made in the AMG variant. This is the SLK R170 chassis. That does make this a little bit of a rare car here. It is a pretty fun car to drive. It was meant to compete with the BMW Z3 Roadster and the Porsche Boxster. It was Daimler AG and Chrysler corporations that came together. You know that this is also the platform share with the Crossfire SRT, which has the same engine and transmission, but a different body style. It has a Chrysler body style. And overall, I think this is definitely the better of the two options, but that's just me talking. So I will be doing quite a bit of work on this car. Just because it's a free Mercedes, that doesn't mean that it's a free Mercedes. You will be seeing me do some work on this car in upcoming videos. And now that I have 3 cars, I will be needing to get rid of one of them. I currently am not making any money from YouTube, so this is all out of pocket. So I will be selling either the Buick or the Suzuki. Let me know down in the comments, of these 3 cars, which do you want to see content on, or would you rather see me doing something else? Because there is always a possibility that I sell all 3 cars and go get something else. But I will be doing some work on this car, and then I will be holding on to it for the winter and probably enjoying it for at least a few months. And then we'll look at getting rid of it next year, going into something else. But in the meantime, I have been enjoying it. Like I said, I've put about 300 miles on it, and I've really enjoyed those miles. This is not the first supercharged vehicle that I have owned. I did own a Jaguar XJR that was also owned by Mr. and Mrs. Wizard of Car Wizard. We had the exact same car, not the same model, but the exact same car. They owned it after I did. And it was a great car. I loved how fast it was, and that was a supercharged V8. This is a supercharged V6, and I've been getting about 20 miles to a gallon, which is about what I expected, and it's a blast to drive. Its acceleration is all there. It feels like everything runs and drives great. I have no misfires that I can feel. It does run a little rough or idle a little rough, and there's a few squeaks and vibrations that I want to iron out, but overall this is a very nice car to drive. This is not the first convertible that I owned. I used to own a 3rd gen Toyota MR2 with the soft top that you would open and close manually. I learned then that I'm not a big fan of convertible cars, whether it's manual, hydraulic. To me, it's just multiple points of failure that I really don't want to deal with. So the very first thing that I did when I got this car was I took the tint off of the side windows. It had been so scratched and it was so old that it just looked terrible. And you can see on this back window that the tint is still there. You can see it starting to peel. My problem is they put it on the same side as the defroster. And it's so old that when I try to peel it off, it just comes off in pieces. You can see that I already tried to take a little bit of it off. So the problem is going to be trying to get that old tent off without destroying the defroster, because I do not want to have to replace this rear glass. It is very difficult to come by. And you can see that trying to look out the rear window, it's a little difficult with that tent on there. So I'm gonna have to see what I can do. If you have any ideas for how I can remove that tent without just destroying my rear window defroster, please let me know. I would appreciate it. Now, as far as Halloween gifts go, this is definitely a good one because this car scares me. I'm gonna pop the hood and we're gonna talk about why. Now, this car had been parked in a field for, I believe, 2 or 3 years when Hoovie bought it. And it arrived on the tow truck. It hasn't been driven more than 10 miles in quite some time. And for me to start it up, have it running, and to put 300 miles on it, I knew that I was going to be finding more vibrations, more noises, more issues that would need to be fixed. It's just the life of these AMG engines. You cannot park these cars for extended periods of time and expect them to be perfect when you start them back up. Now, this is the M112 engine. It is supercharged and tuned by AMG, and I was pleasantly surprised that quite a few of the components are shared between the two engines. However, there are certain pieces that are slightly different for the AMG models, and of course that means that there's fewer of them and they're harder to find, and it just takes a little bit more effort. I have already installed several parts on this car on top of what Tyler has already done, and I will be doing more work. There will be videos on the repairs that I do, but I would just want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching. I really appreciate it.